We're going to explore intraframe effects, and you're like, well, what's an intraframe effect? Well, an intraframe effect in Avid is basically a drawing effect. It's being able to create a mask or a matte, or to be able to draw on the frame itself, draw intra in the frame. Before we actually start this, I want to show you one interesting thing, and that is the title tool. I'm going to just use the regular title tool, so I click on that. And what we're going to do here, we're going to kind of create a graphic as if maybe we were showing a softball game and we want to have her kind of batting. We want to be able to see her. We want to put her over a background with maybe some text on the background. This isn't going to be a great looking effect, but I want to show you kind of what it's capable of. I'm going to pick a color. So I click right here. This is the video button. So this way you're putting text over video if you have the video button on. I actually want to put it over black. So I'm going to turn that off and change black to, let's say, a nice dark blue. Wow, maybe not quite that strong. So now that we've got our background color chosen, I'm just going to type some text and grade second baseman. And now that we've got that, we can click on the little picker tool and slide it down here into the lower corner. We can change the color by clicking fill. Maybe we'll make it a little kind of a reddish color, and we'll also add some shadow. I have to have it selected. Add the shadow, maybe a little less shadow. And also we want to blur it a little bit, so we'll choose Object, Soften Shadow. 4 is good, we'll hit apply. And this is going to be our background. Believe it or not, the way you save this title tool is by closing out of it. And when you close out, it says save existing title. You hit save, and you can save it, but that's the way that I tend to save these titles. And we'll call it and grade. And we'll save. Well, let's change the resolution to MPEG 50. So now we've got a title. Let's cut this title into our sequence. So now the title is underneath the picture of the woman batting. What I want to do now is kind of cut her out so that she is, instead of being over all this nasty netting and the blue sky, she'll be over this background. The way to do that is with Intraframe. To get to Intraframe, we choose our effects mode. We go down to Key and choose Animate. We drag the animate onto our clip and let go. Now nothing seems to have changed. We'll go to our effects parameters, and you'll see that we have some drawing options here. What I'm going to do is click one of these drawing options. The poly tool works pretty well. And I'm just going to kind of roughly draw around her and link back to the beginning. There we go. I'm not real happy with that, so I want to edit it a little bit. So I'm going to click on this tool and pull these down a little bit so we don't blur the bottom of our feet. Now that's a pretty sharp, nasty looking edge. So what I'm going to do is we'll feather it a little bit. And you can also choose the bias. In other words, does the feathering start at the lines that I drew and go in, or start at the lines that I drew and go out? So we'll have them go out. And geez, this one looks a little close, so I'll pull that one out a little bit. And basement is kind of covered up, so I'll pull that one back like this. And now if you can't see the extra points that you have to see to go down, you can type Command K to shrink the image, and now you can see the additional points that you need to see that are kind of outside of the box. And when I'm done, I'll hit Command L to go back to large, and I've created an intraframe effect where she's in the middle of this background. Render it real quick and play it. So it's not beautiful, but I think you get the idea. If you had a very nice, cool background that, you know, baseball themed or softball themed, and you spent a little bit more time picking a font, you could have a nice little graphic, and that's basically how you do intraframe effects.